if you see First John, not John 1, but First John, he starts explaining it, and there was problems with it back then. It was also translated very biasedly after 1511. Before that, the word was called it. It wasn't called he. It just has a whole slew of problems. I mean, I have a whole paper on just that verse because it needs to be addressed, because that's the main verse that comes out. It's basically a plan. I mean, not basically, it's exactly that. The word was a plan. It was a plan that God had for mankind, and he had it before man was even created. That's what it says in the beginning. Okay, and you can see that idea of beginning all throughout the Bible. There's a bunch of places that I have highlighted that I put in the paper of God saying, before time began, I knew this. Before time began, I had this plan. And so before time began, God had this plan, the Logos, okay? And the Logos became flesh in Christ, meaning, and this is how I explain it to people, try to make it easy. If me and my wife have a plan to have a child, okay, we have a plan, we have a Logos. That plan becomes flesh when my child's born. Our plan just became flesh. There it is, all right? And that's the same thing with Christ. God's plan of salvation for the world, which was sending the Messiah, became flesh when Jesus was born. That's the gist of it. When I explain it in the paper, I put verse after verse after verse so you can compare it, okay? So you can see how they speak. I mean, there's a ton of places that will explain, especially First John. He has a lot of examples there. That's their main thing, and it's very explainable if you take the time to look.